Welcome once again to Conchoi's Kitchen. On the menu today is jollof rice. Goat meat jollof rice is what we're making today, and it's gonna be flavor packed. Yes, I hope you will like it enough that you'll give it a try, and when you do try it, I hope to hear from you. Thank you if you're already a subscriber. I hope you hit the notification button as well so you get notified anytime I post a new video. And if today is your very first time here, thanks for popping by. And I say a very warm akwaba to you. I hope you enjoyed enough that you would want to stay and even bring on board a lot more of your friends and family. Today's jollof is gonna be, kid friendly, as you know, I have kids, a 1 year old, and he loves jollof, so it has to be soft enough that he will enjoy it, but also be, my kind of jollof. I don't like mushy rice, so I'm gonna try to let this be like in between, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you pick something from it, one or two from it, and if you haven't already hit the notification button, I would be happy if you would do that. That bell, when you hit that, and you'll be notified anytime I post a new video. I hope you continue to share the videos. I hope you like it. If you do like it, give me a thumbs up, please. If somebody asks me about African food, normally, to introduce people to our foods, normally it's jollof. Like African American friends, when they know you are Ghanaian or African, they'll be like, can you make us some jollof rice? So yeah. And if you're not Ghanaian, if jollof is not something that you're used to, hey, here's the recipe for you. So you you don't have to depend on your friends to be making you the jollof rice. All the ingredients are available here to you, and you can make your own and even surprise your African friends. Be like, I don't care if it's from your country, I can cook it too, and we will see who is who. Okay, guys, so let's get started. Okay, let's do some cooking. Okay, friends, so to make your delicious jollof, you will need some fresh tomatoes, some tomato paste, fresh onions. I have 2 of those, about 2 thumb-sized ginger, some peppers, your goat meat, of course, some aniseed, bay leaves, seasoning cube, which is Maggie tablet that I'm using, some rosemary, and some star anise. So I start off by blending my ginger, onion, aniseed, and garlic with a little bit of water. Once this is smoothly blended, pour about half of it onto your meat. Add your aniseed, seasoning cube, and salt. Stir to get everything coated with the mix, and then you cook this on medium heat without adding any water. You want your meat to absorb the flavors of the seasoning. And then I pour the remaining aside, which I'm going to make the sauce with. Now I'm blending my fresh tomatoes and peppers, and after I'm done blending this, I'm going to pour into another saucepan, rinse the blender and add this to it, and I'm going to set this also on fire and cook. So I actually blended 1.5 of the onions, and the other half is what I am slicing now. And this I'm going to start making the stew with. Meanwhile, our meat is doing fine here. It is smelling divine, and it is still hard, so I'm going to let it cook for a while. I don't really like soft meat, and so I want this to cook for a while to get a little bit tender. And you see the tomato is cooking down, and I do this so I save some time. So the tomato, you see the sauce is now all the way cooked down. It's almost like tomato puree, and it's perfect. It saves you time when you do it this way. Instead of pouring your freshly blended tomato into it and letting your stew cook forever, you can cook it down whilst you're doing other things. And once you put everything together, it saves you some time. Anyway, let's start making our stew. So I put in my oil, about maybe 1.5 cups, and I'm going to fry my goat meat first in that. I like to fry my goat meat in the same oil I'm making the stew, and that gives you more flavor. So our meat is doing fine. I keep stirring it because of course you don't want it burnt. So back to the tomatoes. I actually normally buy a big batch and blend everything, cook in a big pot and let it cook all the way down. And I put them in containers and freeze. And so whenever you need to make any sauce, tomato stew, wachu stew, jollof stew, whatever, you just bring one out, and that saves you a lot of time. And of course, you get to buy the tomatoes at a better price when it's on sale, and you save it that way. So my goat meat is all fried, and I am bringing them out of the oil. Just look at that. Don't be your own demon and eat all that meat, you know. Don't say I'm tasting it and finish it. Anyway, so I poured in my onions into the hot oil, and I am letting it cook until you see the onions are almost caramelized. And now I am adding my curry powder. Yes, I like to use curry powder in my tomato-based stews. So I put in a teaspoon of curry powder, and I'm stirring it just for a little bit for it to cook and the flavors, the smells, aromas to work. And now I put in the remaining of the blended onion, garlic, and ginger that I had set aside. Let this cook for about 2 minutes. And after 2 minutes, I will add in my cooked down tomatoes. Make sure I get everything from that pot in here. So I am scraping it into it. And then I'll give it a good stir. There we go. Yeah. You don't want to waste anything. So now I will stir it, and almost right away I will add my tomato paste. Yeah, let me grab my tomato paste. So yes, I'm now going to add my tomato paste, which is about half a cup. I measured it. I have the measurement, and I'll put everything also, of course, in the description box so you have it. So here's the tomato paste, and I'm going to stir until everything is evenly combined. And this is where the actual patience and stirring begins, because I want this stew to cook down, and I like my stew to be cooked down to the point where the jollof will have that dark color. And so this will be cooking for the next like 30 to 45 minutes. I will keep stirring frequently. And when it is done, we will proceed. So every so often you give this a stir because you don't want your stew to end up being burnt. And so you stir and stir and stir until everything is cooked. And at this point, I'm adding some bay leaves. I put in 3 bay leaves. I love the smell of bay leaves. And if you have them fresh or dry, do well to add a few to it. And our stew is looking good. It's cooked down. It's almost perfectly cooked. And I have washed my rice. This is 6 cups of rice that I washed. And I put it in the stew and keep stirring whilst the pot is still on fire. And my aim is to let the rice get a little bit toasted because it makes the appearance of the jollof look even better, and the rice absorbs more of the sauce this way. So this looks good. Look at how rich it is. You want your rice to look like this before you add some water. And that is fresh rosemary that I put in. If you have dry instead of the fresh, you could put it in or just totally omit it. It's not, necessary, but I like to put rosemary in my jollof every now and then, just for a change, So I put in the stock from the meat. Yes, the greater portion of the flavors for this jollof is coming from this stock because it has all the flavors from the meat and seasonings. And so I added that, and I'm going to add about 6 cups of water. Yes, it's 6 cups of water, some salt, 1 teaspoon of salt, because remember this the stock already has some salt in it. And then I give it a stir, cover, and 15 minutes later I came back, uncovered, and gave it a little bit of stirring. You don't want to stir too much because you don't want to break your grains. And then I covered again. This time still cooking on low heat. 10 minutes later, uncover and give it another stir. And at this time, I also think it will be a good time to add in my meat. So I'm going to stir and add in my meat as well. If you happen to want your meat to be soft, I would suggest you put it in earlier, maybe when you even add just the water. As soon as you put the rice in the stew and add water, you could let your meat cook in there, depending on how soft the meat you are using is anyway. So this is a good time for me to add mine. So I am adding it now. The rice has a little bit of moisture in it still, and so it is going to get to the meat and it will be softer and pick up the color of the jollof as well. So now I'm stirring, and then I think I'm going to cover and let this cook for a few more minutes. 10 minutes later, I checked and my rice is still a little bit on the hard side, which is common for jollof rice. And because I want the steam to cook it so it's not all the way too soft, I covered with an aluminum foil. This is to trap the heat so the rice gets cooked without me adding any extra water to it. And look, in the meantime, I'm making my Ghana salad to go with the jollof, because we all know jollof goes for Ghana jollof and Ghana salad. You know, they're like a match made in heaven. Anyway, look at this rice too. It is perfectly cooked now. Chopping the heat did the magic, and our rice is all done. And it smells so good. And it looks just beautiful. Look at the richness of the color. Just perfect. My goat's meat is perfectly cooked. It is neither too hard nor too soft, just the way I want it. And this rice smells so good. I can't wait to dig in myself. And so I hope this recipe has helped you. And if this is going to be your first time making jollof, I hope you've gotten some perspective on how to make it. And you will make it and enjoy it. And hopefully keep me posted on how it went. And until I come your way next time with something even more amazing, be loving, be kind, be happy.